Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review, and what we have this time is a sharpening accessory, also a general purpose accessory. This is the iGaging Angle Cube. This is a new model that Mark brought in recently, and this is their third generation. It's also IP54 sealed, as far as I think dust and moisture rated. So you can go to the iGaging website and find out info as well, although basically on this one they just have the box packaging to show you as far as specs, but they list it as the Angle Cube IP54. It comes with a little plastic case with Velcro, comes with some instructions, and it comes with a USB charging cable, because that's the big deal about this third gen model. So I'll put this off to the side. So the big difference is the old one, which I have, you have to take 4 screws off. This one has more screws, but you take 4 screws off to change the battery, and they're teeny tiny screws, and it's just kind of a headache to do that. So that's one of the really sweet things about this model. It's got a charging port in the back. So here's your charging port. And the pointy side, you don't pull on that. I almost pulled this thing out of the whole back plate. So the pointy side has the retention component, and then the flat side, what you pull on. There's a little indent there for your finger to get under there. So it's got a micro USB port, and then it comes with a cable that has a micro USB on one side, and then a regular, I think that's a standard type A port, I believe, just kind of a standard USB port. So the great thing is you can just charge this up via USB. You've got an LED right there behind the little white area that will go red when it's charging and turn green when it's fully charged. So this has 4 controls. It's got a on-off button, a hold button to hold the number that you need, kind of for reference if you want, a 0, so you can zero it out on a reference point and then find the difference to whatever you're working on, and a tilt percentage. So 0 is when you want to work off a known spot that might not be dead level. If you just want to use it as a straight level, you just turn it on, and it'll basically reference on a corner to 0, being dead level. And you can switch it, you'll get 90. You can flip it upside down, it'll read as well, reverse of that. So if I'm level here, it'll say 0. So you can stick it on something. It's got magnets on 3 sides. So on the left side, over here, right side, and the bottom, there are double magnets that are pretty strong. So it'll stick on anything that will hold with magnets. So very handy to be able to hold that upside down and get a correct reading. So it works on any 4 directions. So let's take a look at how this works in action, because it's pretty hard to show it here because I'm going to get an error unless I hold it almost straight up and down, which then I can't really see it on the camera. So let's take a look at it in action. So we've got the 4 controls we mentioned. You've got an on-off button, the hold button, the tilt percentage button, and the 0 button. So when you first turn the Angle Cube on, it will go into what's called level mode. So we'll have a level indicator there. So we're simply going off of just level being 0 degrees, and then we're going off of that. You've got a hold button, so that's really handy if you get a reference point and you just want to hold that, and then if you take it away, it's still going to keep that. Otherwise, when you take it away, that number is going to go all over the place after you figure out whatever your particular angle is. So the hold's pretty handy. You can also do a tilt percentage, and when you do that, this will change to a percentage symbol instead of the degree symbol. And if I can kind of hold it steady here, you'll see there's a tilt percentage versus angle. So it's a slightly different calculation. It simply switches back and forth. When you have it in hold mode, it will not switch back and forth. So let's also talk about reference points. So I've got a 15-degree angle device for sharpening stones from Chef Knives to Go, an angle guide. So this is a 15-degree model. So if we see off a basic 0 here, and I go hit that, you'll see it's going to be pretty close to 15 degrees. If I want to do a 0 off of that and then go with that as my reference, I simply hit the 0 button. We zero out at that. I use that for the blade road table when I do the Edge Pro for references there. And then you'll see when I go to another angle, I'll get a reference point in relation to that 0. So we're back to about 15 degrees. So that's basically how it works. If you want to clear that out, you can just turn it off and then back on, and you're back. Once you hit 0, the level indicator goes off, as you'll see here. The level indicator will go off, indicating you're not in level mode anymore. You're in 0 mode, so you've got to work that reference in relation to your 0 point. Again, to clear it out and just get back to level mode, the simplest way I found is just turn it off and then turn it back on. So there you have a summary of the different functions of this Angle Cube IP54 3rd generation. And I consider this almost an indispensable Edge Pro accessory if you're really serious about it and you want the ability to log your settings and repeat those settings for knife combinations. So pretty handy dandy tool. So there you have the Angle Cube 3rd gen IP54.